Hey, hi, hello, everybody.
Hello.
From a save point. Alrighty, if I recall, we were, at a point.
Yes, we're at a point.
Yes. Anyways, perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. Something about the blue badger. This is Emma's recollection. There are weird things. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual. Wasn't that on like the 15th floor? Objection. Try impossible. The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Hold it. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Lana? Lana? The fuck are you hiding? Lana! What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this! I've already confessed to the crime! Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Bang. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Not helped along by whatever it was that happened. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Should I present the evidence list at this point? Because of the fact that this has the blue badger drawing on the back? Or at least it looks like the blue badger head?
Yeah. It's $99. Okay, so they were right. Anyway, sorry, what?
The evidence list. On the back, it has the scene as well as the blue badger head, quote unquote.
I don't know. Let me look through the transcript.
This seems like it would add up.
What are we doing?
Emma's recollection, I believe.
Okay, Emma's recollection.
It's kind of further along.
Emma's picture? Or, no, wait.
We are past the picture.
Oh, 2 years ago? No, we are past that. Okay.
This one includes the blue badger.
Emma's mistaken. Blah, 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 blah. Emma's recollection.
Ha 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 ha.
That's when I saw the blue badger. Present the unstable jar.
Oh, so it was supposed to be the unstable jar here. Oh, geez. What was this, thrown at her?
Well, you're going to have no, all I'll say is you're going to have a lot of fun because coming up next is a mini game that has plagued many people. Oh boy.
Oh,
you're going to enjoy this because you have to, basically what you're going to have to do is, and I can't help you because this is all on you trying to get the correct angle. What you're gonna have to do is make that jar look like the blue badger because they're like, it doesn't look like the blue badger, so you're gonna have to make it. And this is why, again, touchscreen. You're gonna have to turn it into the blue badger, and it's gonna be tough.
Okay.
It's so many people take forever.
I
It takes,
see, here's the thing.
but have
I
fun.
already have thought this vase has that weird silhouette.
Oh yeah, it does, but you still have to get it exactly right. So
I know. I can't wait. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this, but that's what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of a jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this form. Oh. I think I got it. Present. Take that. This isn't... Excuse me?
I told you.
I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more or horizontally. Come on, Mr. Ray, you can do it. I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this form. No, it reset it. Damn it. Show off that ass. What? Oh, of the jar, you mean?
Who said that?
Midnight. Anyways,
Of
hello,
course.
Midnight. Ay. Um, uh... Is this right? This looks about right. Yes, the jar. Okay. Take that. There we go. Okay. Well, is this a miracle or what? Da 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 da. No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. At least when shown from the right direction. I just got here and saw a weird object with a hole in it. Oh, yeah. Yes, of course. Ah, lovely. Anyways, order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Objection! Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Objection? I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? The location, the murder weapon, or the murderer? Uh-oh. It's not the location because we know the location was correct. The murder weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the murderer?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What do you think?
Uh... I don't know. Although the main thing is, come to think of it, if that jar was thrown at Emma, that wouldn't be the murder weapon. So would it be the murderer then?
You can always see and find out, and if you lose points, well...
If I lose points, fuck you. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. Not only that, but she saw it at a very specific angle. Knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. Objection. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Objection. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's side of the office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. Emma was on Lana's side anyway. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness' testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, and beyond, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he hit? Ah! The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the prosecutor's award. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I could go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall, oh my god. Oh no, Emma committed homicide! Oh god. Emma accidentally committed homicide! Well, that's the whole point of homicide. But oh my god! To be fair, she wouldn't have... Oh dear. She wouldn't have... No, she couldn't have seen things. Clearly, she didn't know things. Oh boy. Then the jar was, like, knocked into her face or something. Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! Oh no! Thud. Oh. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. Objection! What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations... Oh, it was Gant who moved the body, without a doubt. It wasn't Lana. It was Gant. Lana wanted it done, but it was probably Gant who actually did the legwork. I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me. Do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with actual evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. Well, at least in this case, we don't have any mediums. Although, to be fair, mediums aren't used in court. Anyways, this has been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touche, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. Somehow. I do not feel good, says Midnight. Oh no. How do you not feel good? I would like to know. Do you feel bad about Emma? Do you just, like, have a headache or something? Anyways, that's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. A letter started being written on the jar. The dark red stains must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. Only the fragment found in Chief Gant's office still has lines remaining on it. Oh, no. Those are lines of an E and an M. Oh, God.
Go slowly.
No. Is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright? Will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Lana? You didn't kill anyone. In turn, you wound up having someone else fucking killed over your sister's mistakes. Not even a real murder, it was a mistake. Homicidiac? I don't know. Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. The jar. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood left on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood. So you're saying these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments, or the last precious moment, left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away, but blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor? I believe these bloodstains reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. Oh my god. There's only one thing the victim could have written, given the circumstances, the murderer's name. Well. Present. Take that. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove his client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Yikes. Of all people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. See, Worthy can't say I didn't warn you. Of course I knew that was Gant. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? Yes, you've covered up evidence for a murder, by the way. What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Yeah. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man... Wow. Didn't he confess to serial killing like 6 people? Did they ever find any bodies for that, by the way? I forget if they ever mentioned that. But apparently he killed like 6 people beforehand, so... I don't know if I would call him innocent. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Yeah. Evidence forged by you. Edgeworth knew nothing. Because of you. So you're the one who should pay for the innocent man's death. Objection? But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer, that's undeniable. He said it himself. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there isn't any cover-up evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They may have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order in my court. The gravel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Ooh, boy. Gant is deciding to stir up the crowd. Actually, he vaguely reminds me of Barnum, but more sinister. what was it? Inquisitor Barnum from the Professor Layton Phoenix Wright crossover game. Yeah, that one was wild. Anyways, February 25th, 12:06. This has all been happening before lunchtime. Oh boy, District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run all around while on duty, and top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. Well, evidence law is not a defense attorney's responsibility, if I'm not mistaken. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. Gant. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Securely slipped evidence law into pocket. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth. The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility has been all but ruined by this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. I mean, we basically know. I think even Lana basically said it. Gant did it, clearly. Honestly, if like, for instance, somehow the evidence transfer had been carried out before Marshall could have gotten there, without needing Goodman, I guess. In that case, it wouldn't have necessarily been a big thing, but still. Anyways, the court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? She's too good to get the electric chair. Yes. Also, if I'm not mistaken, you have to get, like, first-degree murder to have, well, not just the electric chair. I think it's usually lethal injection. But anyways, yeah. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well. Him. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but this isn't exactly easy to say. You see, there is some concern that Mr. Edgeworth may have struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor, I have a solution. A solution? My head seriously hurts and I want it to stop. Oh no, Midnight. Have you tried Tylenol and or ibuprofen? Or one of each? Although I will say, as someone who has suffered from migraines before, those don't always help. Sometimes watching a stream is, it fills the void. It's helpfully distracting, but it's also not that good to be watching it.
Hello. I'm listening to music.
Yes, I can tell.
You don't know what.
You just barge in singing.
I wanted to. Would you like to know what it is? Does it sound familiar?
Was it a RuPaul song?
No. You know, I like the.
Oh, right.
But it's not that. Listen closer. I'm going to show this to you later, but. This is from a channel. I feel like I've shown them to you before.
Uh-huh.
I pop up every so often nowadays. Once we get to the second game, I'll be more talkative. I just don't care anymore. I want to get to the second and third games. I'm so tired of this game. Besides, the second and third game have much funnier characters that I can do voices for.
Yes. Yes, the characters get very, very zany.
I mean, that's an understatement. Zany is like...
I mean, zany is like, fucking April May.
I mean, that's one example, yeah. It's yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, we wind up defending an orca.
No, that's in the 3DS games.
Oh. Damn.
I don't know if we'll actually get to those.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, back to your game.
Yes. And Midnight says, no, but I drank a whole bunch of water. Well, pain meds can help, definitely. But yes, drinking a lot of water can help. Anyways, that being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's never been a case example. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable! Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Bang. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls... the time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Okay. The defense calls Damon Gant the real murderer. Take that. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. I did mention lunch before. You should have taken it while we were at recess, considering the fact you probably would have been called to the stand anyway, since your plot has kind of fallen apart all around you. So, you'll probably be eating prison food tonight. Anyways, your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Bang! Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Bitch. Please. Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. The fuck was that reaction and turnaround? Does he just like to be ominous and creepy and just irritating for the sake of it? Actually, I think he does. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Alana's sister murdered the prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. No, there are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. I've been called both, and you know what? Sometimes I think both are true. But also, I like to think of myself as not dumb. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal? Yes. I'm also aware you're making threats to me. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. Wait, what? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, too late, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. There's still some wiggle room. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Okay. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So what should I show? The evidence list, where the remaining half was found in Gant's desk.
What? Oh, man. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Gant is on the stand.
Right, I got that.
We're trying to figure out what to show the, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Although in this case, the strip of cloth might be...
Present many things.
The strip of cloth.
Yes, that's one. Oh. 8.
Bitch, please. Please tell me I didn't just submit something that isn't good.
Well, you'll see.
Oh, come on.
You'll see.
If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how did you explain this? What's that? And what's that on in a handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please. I don't know. You tell me, son. Excuse me? My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Court record, let's read the book. Check. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. Uh-oh. We haven't proven it's relevant. Are we going to be asked to prove that it's relevant, or are they going to immediately give us a strike? Fuck. Wait, fuck, it also has to be proven by the police, doesn't it? Wait. Hold up. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Well, seeing as he's the head of the police department and he has the right to basically veto everything put against him, yeah, I wouldn't trust the police to send approval for any shit here.
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police. Evidence law. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case and trial, but at least this is mostly what it is with Rule 2. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? It appears the defense was not prepared. I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence. Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay, I'll do it just once, but only because you asked, OG. Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry. Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you.
Yes, you presented that too early, but it will come into play later. I just wanted to mess with you. Kidding. But there is a whole thing for that. You must present something else.
Would that be the evidence list?
Perhaps, yes.
Objection! You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid this is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Skye drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, there's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. Phoenix has yet to be beaten in a case. How would he not rival Edgeworth at this point? So you admit it then. You helped do this? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? What the fuck would I have anything to do with that? I was still in law school at that point. Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. You were the one hiding the office that I snuck into to find. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? Objection. However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. Dick punishment. What? What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. It's the fact that we do. We just want you to say it, please, clearly. Evidence and forgery. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Yeah, you're about to be convicted of murder. Ooh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Aji, in return, though, I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Evidence and forgery. Cross-examination. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. Can't I? If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. You sure about that? There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. There's much reason you would want to participate in a forgery if you were personally motivated. Also, you know, someone got out of your care. Well, not care. Your reign? Ay, ay, ay. Rearranging the crime scene won't help me out in any way. Wouldn't help me anyway. Oh, dearie me. Babe, can I please have some help?
No. Well, what do you think? You must press the statements. Why aren't you pressing the statements? Haven't you learned that if there's nothing that makes sense, you press every goddamn last thing if it's the last thing you do?
Alright, for all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Hold the fuck up. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. No, because my guts aren't as rotten as yours. What? I'll have you know, back in the day I broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? And, you know, he went cow tipping. Anyways. Which, by the way, do people even do that? Do people still do that? I don't fucking know. Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? Yawn. What else? I'm talking about when your fingerprints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove your investigation was illegal. Grr. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. Hold it. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. Objection. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Mr. Wright. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. How so? Hold it. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Hold it. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. You're right. Tell me something I don't know. Calm down, Mr. Wright. Think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Isn't there? Hold it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Hold it. Really, Chief Gant, at the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is its benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one. Really, though? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that evidence, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up the one being pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. Oh, so you're basically trying to say you're selfish. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Oh. Oh, you greedy bitch. I mean, I guess it's no reason eventually he did wind up betraying Lana. Just, ay. Yawn. I'm gonna press on that statement again. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Point out the accomplice. True, you might not help anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well, I'll ask. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Clearly Lana Skye. Right?
Yes.
It is Lana Skye, not
Yes,
Goodman, right?
We know, yes. We're not stupid.
Okay, yeah. Lana Skye. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. Okay. Oh my god. I really wonder if the judge goes senile a little bit every so often. Oh, wait. Okay, that was pretty good. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Moving on from that moment. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her and manipulate investigations. Right, oh my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What would that be? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? This is still the trial for the murder of Bruce Goodman, after all. Order, order, order. I said order. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in the our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible. I ate pizza and now I feel better. Huh? That's good midnight. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. And also expanding upon what he was saying, or insinuating, because he didn't say it himself. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. All right then. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Just remember, it better be good. Well, let's see. What do I have that would say that it was, in fact, Gant? The ID card record? The ID card record comes back! Because we know for a fact that it has Gant's ID on it. 77777777. Haha! Haha! Present! Take that! This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 77777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 77777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Also, Gant, you should really have a better fucking code for your fucking safe. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? He's unhinged. Nothing. Oh, nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. That doesn't mean we didn't find incriminating evidence, bitch. We'll deal with that later. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm the chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. Objection. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. Objection. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Well, if I'm not mistaken, we are finally going to get to use Goodman's lost item report? Take that! Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. And yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Especially considering the fact that he didn't, have the actual number. Otherwise, it probably would have gone to, like, a secretary or someone. Although in this case, it probably still would have gone to the chief of police. Goodman would have known to take it to Gant, regardless. Because, yeah. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Duh. You said it yourself. Exactly. But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. He's the chief of police. Why the fuck would he just lend the ID card? Yes, now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Objection? Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once, but you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No, oh my god. What in the world was that art shader thing? Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely committed on the spur of the moment. No one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. Normally. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why else? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body. Objection. However, the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. The prosecutor's trophy. Ha-ha!
You did it, stupid.
What? Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later. To move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Oh my god, why is that not evidence enough? The award was given to Edgeworth that day. The body was found in Edgeworth's car. How the fuck else would that not make sense?
You gotta find a more direct connection.
Oh my god. That leaves only one possible way he could have moved the body. The only problem is, how did he get him to do it? Maybe that piece of evidence really did have something to do with this case. I'll ask you again, Mr. Wright. Bang. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright shows this evidence to move the victim's body. Chief can't use this. The parking stub?
Maybe.
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. You did us stupid. I know, Midnight. I know. A parking stub? Miles Edgeworth. You mean... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Objection. You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, even you know, I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep a screwdriver at the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the incident, I brought this to the prosecutor's office. Aha! So you see, what you really took to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to carry evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order, order, order. What's going on here? There's no room for rebuttal on to the defense's Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? They're not that outrageous, actually. Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up. Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it time for the early bird special. Objection? But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? This is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Objection? So we're going to just run away after all this. Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. Actually, you absolutely are running away. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had long to dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gat murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? Present evidence, right? Right?
What do you think?
I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence.
Okay.
If this is wrong, babe, it's on you.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
Is it though?
Bitch, fuck you.
It's not my fault.
Please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gat murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oh boy. Um, 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 uh, I'm just trying to think. What would it be? No pressure. Yeah, no pressure. Oh dear.
No pressure.
Yeah, I know. Okay. You gotta fake it till you make it, girl. I know. Wait a fucking minute. 2 years ago, the halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. Can I ask you a question? Yes, Midnight? You'll go overtime if you don't find a clue. I know, I know, I know. Fuck. Um. Uh,
We're overtime.
Yes, I know. The fuck am I supposed to present?
What do you think you're supposed to present?
The King of Prosecutors trophy?
No.
The switchblade knife?
No. No.
Goodman's ID?
No.
The memo found in the car trunk?
No.
Goodman's autopsy report?
No.
Edward's knife?
No.
The victim's shoe?
No.
Lana's cell phone?
No.
I like your dress. That's why I have 10 in different fabrics. Fuck. What am I supposed to use?
I don't know. What are you supposed to use?
Is it the Blue Badger?
No.
Yeah. I thought not. Midnight said it, but why not? No. What am I supposed to submit?
What do you think you're supposed to submit?
Is it actually the screwdriver?
No.
Yeah, I know. The glove? The tape?
No.
The tape?
No.
Damn it. The jar?
No.
What am I supposed to use?
What's left?
Parking stub.
No.
The autopsy report.
No.
The memo.
No.
Floor plans.
No.
The crime photo.
No.
Just start going down the list. That's what I'm doing. Luminol?
No.
ID card record?
No.
Fingerprinting set.
No.
Not the screwdriver. The lost item report?
No.
Evidence room floor plans.
No.
The rubber glove?
No.
Wouldn't it be the evidence locker? Wouldn't it be the unstable jar? Wouldn't it be Marshall's prints? Not the security video. SL9 incident files?
No.
Neil's autopsy report?
No.
The Gantt team picture?
No.
The evidence list?
No.
The strip of cloth?
No.
Evidence law?
No.
I think I've gone through everything.
Mm.
Am I supposed to submit something?
No.
No, I'm not.
No.
Are you just saying no to be a bitch?
No.
Ugh.
No. You were the one who decided to submit something.
Really?
Yes.
For once, I'm not supposed to take fucking action.
Mm. Subversive, isn't it?
Irritating, more like. I'll just present the King of Prosecutors trophy. So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof as to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge. That's the point of what he just said. You know what? Never mind. All right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor? What do you think, Mr. Wright isn't going to be late for my meal? I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me just a little longer to consider. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Demigant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? I have no proof yet. It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence. CIG. In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? I don't gamble unless the stakes are high. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, IG, I'll leave the rest to you. And he fucking fades away. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Ah! Objection. Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. Oh no, we're gonna bring in fucking Angel Star, aren't we? Or is it Lana? A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. And you know what? I think that's where we're gonna suspend play, because oh my god, we're over time and I'm done with this case.
Yes, we wouldn't have been over time, but you decided to submit something, so...
Well, I didn't know, because you were being vague.
Me? Vague? Ooh.
Shut up and kiss me.
Okay.
Mwah. Anyways, we're gonna wrap up the stream here. When will this case end?
Hopefully next week.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the notification bell for notifications as to when I go live. I stream on Sundays from 6 to 9 U.S. Central Time. Nice. And from on Thursdays from 7 to 9. Usually. We started a bit late today, but that's because of the fact that I had to go with my mother to do a showing. I didn't drive to a place to work. My sister did, and then my sister had actual work. She kind of just paints for my mom as like a second job. So yeah, she drove me and then she had to go to actual work and I was left there. Then mom had a showing and I had to go with her to that because we couldn't miss it. Anyways, that's why I was late. So yeah, fun stuff. And you can also find Andrew's channel in the recommended section. You can also, find my Discord. Maybe you'll be able to help make it more active. Who knows? It's always nice when new people come around. Anyways, that should do it. Thank you so much for watching one last time. This is Ben Guy Smith and
Derby.
yes, signing off. Until next time, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.